Yo, what's happening, people? What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Big up to everyone. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. Joined by Saeed today, who's been on the grind with like Club World Cup content. You've been
Yeah.
churning it out. How's your sleeping pattern, dude?
You know what? I actually haven't been doing the late ones, like the 2 a.m. ones, but still, even the 5 o'clock and the 7 o'clock ones, the quality of the games have not been great. Like
Yeah.
Palmeiras was a chore. I mean, Chelsea one was one of them where
I saw you ended the stream, but then you came back.
Yeah, bro, and I shouldn't have done that. I should not have done that. I got too giddy and excited thinking Chelsea going out. And then, yeah, after that, they smashed them 4-1. But it's not been great. I'll be honest with you. The rules, it's one of them where you've got to be there to enjoy it.
Yeah.
If you're not there, then it's not going to be ideal because you're waiting around. They got this FIFA style kind of like entrance.
I don't like that. I don't like it. It reminds me of like the NBA. And the thing is, in the NBA, it's fine because it's 5 players, but in football, it's 11 players per team. So it's like you're sitting there for like 5 minutes watching everyone walk out.
Yeah. And I'm just like, next year, the World Cup is going to be 48 teams.
Yeah.
So you're going to see this every single game. And it's like,
do you think this is like a test run for the World Cup? That's why they're doing it in America.
I mean, I hope not, because if they do it the way they do it in terms of like, you know, when they do the national anthems, you're basically facing each other side by like face to face. I'm like, that's like, you know, how the New Zealanders do their haka. You know what I mean? You're going to be seeing like Italy, the way they do their anthem is passionate.
Yeah.
And it might put fear into teams. I don't know. It might be
maybe that might be entertaining for fans to watch, but
yes,
maybe for the national team, it might make them uncomfortable.
Yeah, and be like, yo, what is this? This is weird.
Especially there's some countries as well that boycott singing their national anthem because of like political reasons.
Oh, yeah.
They won't sing their national anthem. So I can imagine how it could create like a hostile environment. My only issue with like the World Cup, 48 countries, I don't mind the expansion of it, but it's like the quality of those players. I'm happy for some countries. For example, I think Jordan has qualified for the first ever time. I think that Kusanov, the country that Kusanov is from, Uzbekistan qualified for the first ever time. So there's some good stories, but it's all about the quality of the football. And you know, it's just gonna be so much games. And I can't even plan to go to the World Cup because it's like hosted in like 11 different cities.
Yeah, 11.
So you have to like pick a base and just stay there.
Stay there, yeah. Because obviously one's in Argentina, one's in.
No, it's Mexico, Canada, and America. But it's like different states. It's in different states, different parts of America, East Coast, West Coast. Traveling from East Coast to West Coast is already like 5-6 hours.
Yeah. And then you got to think of the one after that, 2030, God willing, we're all here and alive. It's going to be in Uruguay, Argentina, Portugal, Morocco.
And Spain. But the thing is in Argentina and Uruguay, I think it's only the opening fixtures for those national teams because it's the 100-year anniversary of the World Cup. So I think it's not all like there's not going to be a lot of games. Argentina are going to play their first game in Argentina. Uruguay is going to play their first game. Morocco, Spain, Portugal. I think that's reasonable because Morocco isn't that far from Spain. It's like a 2-hour flight.
But the team facing Argentina though is a disadvantage.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
Travel back.
But then also, what about for Argentina, who's playing their first game at home? So they're going to have a huge crowd. And say they get to like round of 16 and they're playing in Spain. And suddenly it's gone from having a huge crowd to having no one there, like basically not many people in comparison to your home country. I just think that the World Cup is the best. Well, like next year, it's going to be really interesting. But aside from Club World Cup, how you been?
Let's get back to reality. Let's get back to reality.
How you been? How you feeling about the transfer window? Because obviously it's been nearly a month. Tomorrow, as of recording, tomorrow is going to be 4 weeks since Brian Mbeumo said that he wants to join Man United.
Wow. You know what it is? What I don't get is why everyone feels the need to be calm and say everything's okay when we finish 15th. Like, I just think this Mbeumo deal is dragged on more than it needs to be.
Yeah.
And I feel like, for me, anyone that's moaning at Brentford for sticking to their price needs to have a head wobble. Like, they have said what their price was. Man United know what their price is. I don't think it's a case of like negotiating. Look, if you look at the market now, João Pedro, they're not negotiating. They want their 60 million. Like, you know, Elanga's been rejected for 45 million. The price is the price. You have to pay it. I feel like this is the window where it's like you can't really haggle anymore. Like, Yes, teams are desperate to now get in the Champions League. United are desperate to get from 15th to now finishing in at least a European spot. I just think for me, if we're spending this amount of time on this one, I think we're going to get Mbeumo. But it's like the nature of the time. Like, so if you're saying now this one is, we've seen 5 weeks of this year, 4 weeks or whatever it's getting to, what's Gyökeres going to take? What's, I don't know, whoever midfielder we're going to get, the keeper, getting players out to get players in. Like, I just feel like the domino effect here hasn't happened yet. And last season, don't get me wrong, like, there was what we got, I think Euro first in, and then Xerxes came in, and then we got De Ligt and Martinez. Sorry, De Ligt and Mazraoui. Then we got Thingy last, Ugarte last. But it's like, that was a bit more easy to maneuver. This one is even more harder because we have to go from 15th to wherever we need to be. And I just feel like for me, it's like, I'm more conscious of time rather than the actual signing. I think we're going to get Mbeumo, but it's now moving on because we have to get at least 5 minimum in the summer. 5 minimum.
I hear it. I was going to say with the only thing that concerns me with the whole Mbeumo thing is that Omar Barada said in an interview with United We Stand, saying that basically transfer negotiations, United can't allow clubs to fleece them anymore, and they're not scared to walk away from a transfer. But if it ends up coming out that United pay Brentford what they want, I'm like, what took so long? I get it. It's the finalized, the add-ons, the achievable add-ons. They want more up front, etc. But the biggest concern about that all is that United can only do one player at a time. They can't, like, it sounds like they focus on one at a time. And on top of all of that, it's been clear once Bryan Mbeumo comes in, Man United are selling to buy. And they're not really attracting much right now. Let's be honest, outside of Anthony, there's not really much interest for other players. Marcus Rashford is holding out for that Barcelona move. Garnacho, God knows where he's ending up in the summer. Jadon Sancho, Fenerbahce don't want him. They're signing John Duran instead. Napoli are moving for Noah Lang instead.
Noah Lang.
Juve,
Doy as well.
And Juve only want to pay him 50% salary. So that's another player that they're going to struggle to shift. So if United are selling to buy, I feel like after Mbeumo, we are going to be waiting a hot minute for their next signing. And it's sad because, like you said, finishing 15th, it should put fire in their belly to be like, yo, we need to go to the first part of the transfer window and get everything done as quickly as possible. And now preseason starts in a week, 7 days? 8 days. 8 days preseason starts. And then it's another 2 weeks on top of that before they start their tour. And it might be only one, maybe two players at best coming in.
The Cunha one was already done before the Europa League had finished, or started even. Like, we knew that he was going to be in the door, but I just feel like for me, Cunha alone isn't going to be what United or propels United to anywhere near top 10 or top 8. Like, I generally don't, because I feel like other teams have done their job, or they still solidified a good baseline in their team. Right now, United, at this current minute, we're seeing, like, the thing for me is like, Omar Barada said that, but it's like Brighton are not budging because they've shown that we can pay Cunha money.
I don't think Mbeumo and Cunha are that far off in valuation. The only thing I will say is that it's like the contract position. Like, one of them signed a new contract, the other one got a year plus one left. But in terms of the player, and I was saying this the other day on my stream, transfer fees for me I'm getting to a point where it doesn't really have much meaning to me because of how overinflated the market is, to a point where I'm seeing Gittins for 65 million. It's ridiculous. Back in the day, when like Real Madrid signed Ronaldo from United, they weren't signing him for his potential. They were signing him because he was a superstar at that time. And 80 million then was a lot of money. And I remember watching Sky Sports, and they were talking about at that time saying, who's going to be the first 100 million player? When is it going to happen? Now, it's normal for at least one player in the top 5 league to be signed for 100 million in the summer. It's become normal.
Livramento, Newcastle want 70-80 million for him.
That's crazy. That is, and that's why when I'm hearing people talking about Cunha being expensive or Bryan Mbeumo being expensive, I'm like, come on, guys, we're living in a market where João Pedro is being late. Semenyo has a price tag of 70 million.
70 million.
And if you can get Bryan Mbeumo for 65, that's damn good business.
Yeah, but you know what it is as well, though? It's the fact that you're making them significantly worse, and you then climb up them in the table. Before, if a player was sold, it wasn't a case of right, we're making you worse and we're gonna finish higher than you. We're already higher than you. Man United are already higher than Bournemouths, the Brentfords. So when we get you, we're not getting you because like we want to finish above you.
Yeah.
We actually now want to finish above Brentford and Bournemouth. So if we want their best players, we have to pay them what they deem is a sensible fee, or they feel like it's a realistic fee for their player that they're losing. It's simple. Like, and I just think for me, it's like, yes, low balling. Yes, let's not get absolutely rinsed in the market. But I don't think United have that much kind of leverage on teams now where they can say, right, we're going to walk away and we're going to move to a different signing. Because they can, the other signing, let's say, for example, they went for João Pedro. João Pedro now, Brighton are holding out for 60 million. 60. So if they're holding out for 60 million, you can't go anywhere. And you've shown your cards already by saying, yo, we can pay up to 55, 60 million for Mbeumo. We can do that. So you've shown your cards already. So, but therefore, it's like almost like, well, where do we actually really go then now? Like, where do we actually go?
I think Brighton is a bit different because I look at Brighton as a feeder club. I don't look at Brentford as a feeder club. I look at Brighton as a team that sign to develop and then sell. I remember when when they sold Caicedo, and that summer their sporting director was on Sky Sports in the summer transfer window talking about how Evan Ferguson is going to be the next 100, 120 million player. Yeah, they sign players, develop them, improve them.
Yeah.
To go on and sell them for a huge profit. I don't look at Brentford necessarily like that. And you're right in the fact that United are now trying to leapfrog over these teams in the table. So why would they want to directly strengthen you easily? Back in the day when United used to sign from, when we signed Carrick, when we signed Berbatov, we were signing from teams that were below us and we were better than them. So it was easy to sign them.
But what I will say though is Brentford, you say Brentford not a feeder club, yeah, but they've just sold Flecken, they've sold Tony, but they've sold Norgard.
But not for huge fees like that. I don't think Brentford signed players with the intention of selling them for 70, 80 million. I don't think they do that, but I think Brighton do.
Yeah, Brighton do. I generally think these teams now, because they're getting better now, like they're really, really getting better, these teams. Like before, they weren't a problem for teams now. But now you see, they look at Brantford, they held out. Last summer.
Now he's signing a new contract.
Now it's a new contract. Maybe this one might be now, there might be a release clause now.
Maybe,
in this. I think there might be something. Like he wouldn't have signed a contract if he didn't think, yo, I want a really big move. Like we'll see on that development. I like him, but for the price, they're crazy. But I look at it and I'm like, with Mbeumo, we know what the price is. Let's get it done and let's move on to other targets. But like you said, maybe it's sell to buy. Like maybe it's a case of now waiting for Anthony, waiting for Rashford's money, waiting for the Garnacho money. Like that all there, let's be honest, it can recruit us another 150 million if it was serious. If we sold Garnacho,
you think we can sell Garnacho, Rashford, and Anthony for 150? I don't think we can even sell Rashford.
Let's say, for example, now and Sancho as well.
And Sancho,
all four. So if you get 50 million for Garnacho,
you
get around about 30 million, 35 million for Anthony. You get 30 million for Rashford. Even though I think for me it's still a big tough ask, and then you get your 18 to 20 million on Sancho, or 15 to 20 million on Sancho.
Yeah, that's about like 120, 130.
Yeah, so
give or take.
Give or take. Yeah. So I think around there is and that's what United have now tried to do. How do we sell Bruno though? And we
let it go. Let it go, bro. Let it go.
How do we sold him? We would not be in maybe a bit of.
No, but he said publicly. Listen, Bruno said publicly, United don't need the money. So he was clearly told they don't need to sell him. So
well, they lied. They lied.
Then take that issue up with Barada and Wilcox and them. But they were clearly keen to keep on.
You've got to make decisions, and I feel like for me, when you make decisions here, you say, you know what, Bruno, I'm sorry now, but we're gonna move you on, and we're gonna buy better players for. Let's say, for example, they bought Mbeumo. They went and got, I don't know, someone in midfield as well. And then all of a sudden you're like, this is quite a good investment on the sale of Bruno Fernandes. That's the problem. The belief with us is we don't think we can replace him properly. It's about when we sell a player, it's like, what we're losing. What are we gaining from that as well? Like we don't think like that. And that's Man United's problem. Like that's why you hear him, Musa, shout to Musa, but constant revisionism around Sancho, Anthony, Like it's because we haven't replaced them with players that we don't then think of these players anymore. If we go get Cunny and Mbeumo, they're shelling it out. No, we don't remember what Ante and these men were doing. We just don't.
But that's been the issue with United for the last decade, bro.
I know.
They get rid of a player, and look how long it took us to replace Vidic and Ferdinand once they kind of left.
Yeah.
Till today, I don't think we've replaced Carrick in terms of the qualities and attributes he brought into the midfield. And even then, on the topic of midfield, the lack of midfielders that we're linked to scares me. That actually scares me.
I've said it from day one, Mino. The lack of midfield options is scary. Like I told you about Richard Rios. He's someone that I think United should be looking at. But again, Nottingham Forest apparently are very, very keen on him and they want to sign him. And they've got a big South American kind of influx now in there.
They're bringing in like 3 players, isn't it, from like Botafogo?
Botafogo, they've already got players already there that are South American and Brazilian and whatever. Like they're very adamant on that. They've just got that kind of like idea. And for me, it's like, we're not gonna buy now. If we don't get like someone like that, we're gonna buy an underwhelming one in Douglas Luiz and whatnot. Even though I don't think they're crazy, but they're very underwhelming to what United should be getting in midfield, bro. Let's be honest.
But the thing is, what you think, like I was saying this the other day, what I think United should have in midfield, and I feel like what Amorim wants as his midfielder, I think it's 2 different stuff. Because I don't believe you should have a midfield duo that are not good on the ball. I think all your midfielders should always be good on the ball. And I feel like Ruben Amorim's system and the way that he wants United to play relies on the wide centre-backs to be those ball progressing players. I know. The 2 midfielders are the destroyers. They are the physical ones. They are the agile ones that just get up and down the pitch. And I don't necessarily like that. I would prefer to have, a midfield duo who are so good on the ball that you don't have to worry about physicality because no one can come near them.
Yeah.
No one can get the ball off them. That is my preference. But so when I think of the kind of midfielders we are gonna get potentially in the summer, my only worry as well is that United take so long to sell people that they end up just panic buying a midfielder in the later parts of the transfer window. We cannot
afford to do that. We learned our mistake with Ugarte, and that
Ugarte wasn't a panic buy. Come on.
No. But it was one of them. It was a panic buy, but it was almost like one of them where it's like, did we envisage? Like that, if knowing that Ten Hag was on his last legs and whatever, we should have got a midfielder that was like almost like ready for any situation. I feel like with Ugarte, when it's one of them where it's like, was it a tactical element from the manager, or was it an opportunist signing because we felt like he was available on the market, we felt like he was a good value or whatever it was they wanted. Like we didn't really like think through that. Even though I think for me, I'm not gonna say, oh, you know what, we shouldn't have signed him at that time because I wanted him and we take that L. But for the club, they need to think right. It's like it's the same way they fought with Amorim. They saw Amorim. They didn't think what he's bringing to the club. They just saw Ruben Amorim's available. Let's bring him. Like they didn't realize, right, this guy's gonna come with a whole new system and it could go terribly wrong. Rather than say, you know what, we're gonna get Rude. He's done well with a 4-3-3. Let's go get a manager that plays similar in that style, and let's go that way there for the end of the season. And then we could go go get another manager if we want to. But they just went and changed the whole completely. And when they say, oh, we needed this time to get over the storm, who's to say that Storm won't be there next season? Like, who's to say that we don't get worse next season? Because we finished 8th and 15th with a lot of these players. You know, Mina, it's that people underestimate the ability to turn this around and to have a winning mentality. This is not a quick fix.
No, but in that case, then, do you buy into the whole 2028 thing from Barada about winning a title?
This brother, 2028 onwards. He is becoming for me a big waffler, like, and he's having too much. I don't know. It's like for me, it's like he's a more of a COO than a CEO. Yeah. Like when he speaks for me, I just really switch off. Even when I see his quotes, they all sound monotone. They all sound very, very like robotic, and it's like there's no like emotion behind it. There's no feeling like this is what we're gonna try and do. It just feels like he's just saying things what a CEO would say, or what a kind of guy that's in a high ranking office would say. It doesn't feel like, bro, you're looking at what our team is. You're looking at the Premier League and you're saying it's realistic. Come on, man. Like
for me, it's also with Barada. Sorry, he said in an interview before he joined United. This is when he was at City. He did an interview with the Financial Times, and he was talking about how at City they had a rule, and in football he was like teams should have a rule where it's 2 seasons and you're out. So I need to see that applied to Manchester United now. But the thing is, I think you have to be realistic in the way that you can't ship your entire team or half of your entire team that finished 15th. And it's crazy because missing out on Champions League and European football and finishing so low in the table, I think in terms of a mentality shift, it's what United need. They need a wake-up call. But financially, it's going to hold United back for a minute.
Yep.
I don't think people realize how much
tickets. That's why they've done a new system for the tickets. I don't know if you've seen it.
The prices in that.
Yeah, the prices. So the lower brackets are gonna be for the games that are like Wolves and them, man. And then the higher brackets are gonna cost a lot of money. So
I saw it. Tickets for the Cat A games are like going up to £115 or something.
Yeah,
which is crazy to pay £115 for a Premier League. Like that's not even resale. That's how much you would buy it for resale.
Yeah, I know. At home,
so buying it from the club for that much is ridiculous.
And they said it would never go above £66, and that's why United fans were protesting over £66. Yeah,
they're liars. They're liars. It's crazy. It is crazy, but it's also scary because just quickly on the summer transfer window, obviously, when Brian Mbeumo comes in, hopefully he comes in. But once he comes in, I can imagine it being a slugfest in terms of how slow the rest of the transfer window might go for Manchester United because so much is riding on the prospect of getting rid of players. Dominic Calvert-Lewin is leaving Everton, and we've been linked to him before. And I've seen a couple of people online saying, you know what, low risk, low reward. He can't, Amorim can improve him, and I'm thinking, Amorim hasn't improved many people in the team.
Nope.
Would you take Calvert-Lewin in terms of available strikers right now?
Honestly, no way. It's one of them where it's such a slow transfer market, yeah, because someone's free and available. And I think he's only like 28, 29, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, stay away from him. Injury prone. Couldn't even get the team ahead of Beto, who I don't rate anyway. And I think he has been poor for me for a lot of the time. Like, we are in desperate measures. And this is just Twitter talk for me. Like, oh, but you know what? Hear me out. You know when they say hear me out? This is not hear me out. This is case closed and shut the door. Like, he needs to go to someone like Sunderland or Burnley. Go to like a Burnley, become their number 9, and then score goals for them. You know what I mean? This is a sad way to end on for him because he's a local lad, I think, for Everton. And yeah, man, like that's it, bro. Like,
do you think we're gonna get a striker then? Forget like Calvert-Lewin. Do you think we will end up with a striker?
I'm just here. I don't know if you've seen the Yokeres.
What the director was saying.
He's got him on handcuffs, man. He's not
leaving. But why is the sporting director or the president at Sporting talking about United spending 75 million euros on Cunha? He's basically, guys, for some context, the president of Sporting has said he's not letting. Yokeres has made it known that he's not playing for Sporting, and he said that's the president said that's fine, but let it be known we are not letting him leave for 65 million plus 10. When I've seen. He mentioned Zubamendi. He said a player like Zubamendi, who's 6 months younger than Yokeres, has gone for 65 million, and Man United have spent 75 million on Cunha. It's not unreasonable what I'm asking for.
Wow.
And I don't know if you've seen reports like earlier in the week that was saying, Yokeres might be open to joining Manchester United. Do you want him? Because I do. I don't want him.
For me, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'd take him. Considering I wanted Mateta, but I don't think that fell on deaf ears. I don't think anybody's looking at him. I think he might even sign a deal. Then I was like, you know what? The idea of Ekitike sounds good because I feel like we've got a player who can be a bit more. He can link better with maybe a Cunha and a Mbeumo, and he can play left. He can be right. He can be so like the idea of it. It sounds very good. A fluid front three. But then Yokeres, I'm like, yo, we got someone who can actually play right now, and you know what? He could be someone that could be, be used correctly, So I think for me, like, bring anyone at this point now.
You don't care.
Bring one of the Osimhen, Yokeres, Ekitike, one of the three. Like, just bring one, because at that point now, it's like, bro, for us to even think about what we're gonna get, like, I just think beggars can't be choosers at this rate right now, and it's like we had to spend it. Obviously, not a priority for United, but United are somehow flirting with the idea of he's still not rejected us, so we're still there. You feel me? So United, I reckon, will still be involved because the Ekitike one's gone dead right now. I don't know if you know anything like
everything's gone quiet with the striker.
Everything.
Like, Victor Osimhen quiet. Gyökeres, the only thing we're hearing about Gyökeres is like this president stuff. But I think a lot of talk about strikers in the market right now has just gone quiet. I think United are trying to get that Mbeumo stuff done so hard.
I don't know if people are just watching this Club World Cup and they're waiting for this Club World Cup to finish. And
I don't think the Club World Cup has that much of an impact because, like last summer, it was the Euros. I feel like that had a bigger impact on the transfer window than the Club World Cup has. Because I remember like Joshua Zirkzee, it took us weeks to sign him because he was with the Netherlands and then he went on holiday and all of that stuff. Whereas now, United aren't really trying to sign anyone from a team that's playing in the Club World Cup. So there's not really, I don't think it's really holding much up. I just feel like everyone is moving slow, not just United, but like a lot of Premier League, I think bar Liverpool and City, everyone else is going at a snail's pace.
Snail's pace, you know what I mean? And maybe Chelsea are starting to pick up a little bit now and Arsenal are trying to do their thing. But you're looking at Villa, they've not made any signings. Newcastle not made any signings. Bournemouth have lost a lot of players. It might be a case of July's a mad one, but like, bro, like I'm sick of this like July madness and this, that, the other, bro. Like, just get me signings right now, man. Like,
how many players? Today is what, June 29.
We need 4 more.
How many players do you think we end up with? Not how many do you think we need? How many do you think transfer deadline day between now and then? How many players do you think we're signing?
I think we'll get Mbeumo, so that's 1.
Cunha 2, so those 2, and then
2. I think we'll get a. See, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know. After that, I'm very, very lost. Because I can't see any midfield links that are strong. Like I've seen this now from Alfredo Puello. He said about last summer, Man United offered 50 million euros. Atlanta was 60 million euros. Man United and Atlanta are currently in talks, and we'll have to wait, see if anything significant develops from these discussions. I mean, he's just waffling there, innit? Let's be honest, man. I mean, like,
I think we end up with, including Mbeumo, Cunha, I think we end up with 4 signings overall. I think we end up with 4. We sign Mbeumo, we're going to sign 2 other players after that. I think we'll sign a striker. But also, can I just say,
Arsenal now, Ugo Ekitike is pretty seriously considered as part of Arsenal's transfer plans.
If Arsenal were to sign Ekitike and sign Rodrigo or Eze, that's a ridiculous front three. That would be a ridiculous front three.
Wow.
But I think we end up with a striker. But even then, I'm also skeptical about the striker situation because I don't know if you've seen, like a couple of weeks ago, different journalists saying, United are open to having Joshua Zirkzee starting with Mbeumo and Cunha, and some people at United believe Højlund can improve and become that guy. I feel like United are planting stories out there just to lower expectations if they don't sign a striker, so they can be like, you know what, guys, we got Zirkzee and we got Højlund. Because even talk about Højlund has slowed down with Inter Milan. It was reported Inter Milan offered Mehdi Taremi in part of a deal with Højlund, and United.
You've got to got that Bony guy, so they're not buying Højlund now.
Yeah, they're not buying Højlund, so that's even quietened as well. So I genuinely believe there might be a strong possibility that United end the summer transfer window with no striker and maybe like a midfielder, and then like a squad player, like not someone who's a starter, a squad player. And that's why I think that's 4 players there and then, and I don't see anything more than that. Maybe 5. The thing is, right, people like to paint a picture of when United sign young players, like Diogo Leon that's signing from Paraguay. He's joining July 1st. People are going to paint that out to be a new signing, like a fresh signing. A young kid. You can't put the weight of the world on his shoulders. He's not coming in as a starter immediately. We brought that little kid from France who's now going on loan to Lausanne. Sekou Kone is expected to go out on loan. United are buying a lot more young academy players and trying to fit them into the academy and then maybe like sell them on, rather than, I think, signing as many first team players. So people will create a package and say, look, we signed 8 players this summer transfer window. Bro, 5 of them might be academy kids.
5 of them might be academy kids.
That it really might be that like that. But I'm just hoping. Do you think we'll get here? We go for Mbeumo this week.
I reckon we'll. They said medical, so I'm this Ben Jacobs. His rise. You know what I mean? He might go.
His redemption this season. His redemption this summer has been crazy. It's like crazy, the Marcus Rashford, Eric Ten Hag season. It's been a crazy redemption.
If it comes crashing down and we don't hear nothing by next week, boy, I think this is the most crucial week because that's the week where everybody's been saying that Mbeumo medical next week. If we don't hear anything by next week, Khalas, done.
Khalas. I hear it. Listen, big up, Saeed. Let them know where they can find you. You're on the road to 200K. Well,
yeah, no, appreciate it. Thank you, man. I'm trying to get that hopefully by the end of the year. You know, maybe before, but yeah, just follow me, Saeed TV. Make sure you like the video on this video as well. And hopefully we get, by the time we next speak, we got a signing. You know
hopefully. You guys know what it is. Listen, guys, be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. Make sure you follow Saeed. All platforms, link in the bio of this video. And I'll catch you guys all soon. We're out. Peace.
Big up.